Hello and welcome to the Irish Whiskey Review with me, Marty Macaulay. My main man Justin behind the screen, behind the camera here tonight. So shout out and say hello, Justin.
Feed me! Feed me!
Now, we have a very special guest tonight. We have a friend of mine, Chef Rob Curley, from the Slemish Market Garden Supperclub. And we're going to be talking about whiskey and food. Now, we're very used to having a wine waiter or a sommelier telling us that a Chablis goes with a turbot and mussels and this kind of thing. But with the increase in brown spirits, with the renaissance of whiskey, I decided that it would be a good idea to come and talk to Rob about pairing whiskey with food and cooking with whiskey in food. So I'll let Rob introduce himself and tell you a bit about what he does, and then we'll get down to tasting some whiskies and, even better, some food. So, Rob.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks for inviting us and Justin to this great momentous day of whiskey and food. It's such a great combination, kind of a new combination now that people are utilising. Than, as you said, the sommeliers would do the food with wine, and then there's beer that started, and why not whiskey? That it's the national drink of here, and it blends very well with flavours of different food types, but it has a bit of a niche as well that you have to watch the characters of each whiskey. So
I think people have sort of preconceived ideas. They think that whiskey, a lot of people have the old whiskies, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, the sort of Powers and Black Bush and this kind of thing, which are standalone by themselves. But with all these new exposures, people are getting a bit more, they're more access to bourbons, and there's still some of the old scotches and that kind of thing floating about. But whiskey and food, it's kind of a new concept, a bit like your own food. Now, I've been to a couple of your Slemish Market Garden Supperclubs that you run every month, which are fabulous. The innovation and imagination that you have is, I think, unbelievable. The presentation's superb, and even the concept behind it. Now, if you want to tell everybody a little bit about the concept behind the Supperclub.
Okay, well, as Marty said, I run Slemish Market Supperclub, so it's like a pop-up restaurant that goes from venue to venue, all around County Antrim and Northern Ireland and Europe, and we've won a lot of awards through the restaurant bodies, and have represented Ireland at the World Tapas Championships in Spain 2 years ago. So, but the concept is it's like a 6 course or more tasting menu, but only using produce from here in Ballymena and County Antrim. A little bit outside, but not too much. And sourcing plates and crockery, and if I don't make it myself, I have an artist making it for me. So we're using everything that we have. We have a wild of an abundance of fantastic food here and drink, and I just want to use it and utilize it, because when you look, people think, oh, we only have whatever the usual veg, but when you open your mind, we have such bounty. Like Ireland's up to join me to do collaborations, and the one stipulation I say, you have to use our produce, and they're amazed about the produce that we have.
But it's strange, because Ballymena, this part of County Antrim, is known for agricultural. It's known for farming. The reputation that we really deserve, because we have fabulous beef down in Glenarm. We have, lamb and so on and so forth. And I know you're a big champion of this. I know your vegetables pretty much all come from the Slemish Market Garden.
All the vegetables come from Slemish Market Garden, so it's done the way I do it, so organically and sustainable. So it's only grown when it's supposed to be ready. So you won't have strawberries in January. No. You'll have them in July and June, July and August. The same at every vegetable has their own seed. The old way, and it's by hand. They're sowing seeds by
Yep.
hand, planting, picking by hand, and that's the way. Like everything is done by hand. It doesn't have to be so modernized now. Yes, we can modernize, but
Yeah.
as in plant. This is a farming community
Exactly.
or place.
I think everything has its place. You know,
Mm.
it's quite.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with going and getting a packet of crisps. You
No,
know,
no,
thing.
no.
But it's
All
Okay.
contain the whiskey to match
to match.
your
So,
whiskies.
I'm going. I did this as a little bit of a surprise. So I have 5, and Rob has the first one. And the first one we went with is Tullamore Dew. Very light, very estery, very appley, sort of a very traditional Irish whiskey, Irish style of whiskey. So I'm going to pour a little sample out for Rob, just to let him have it on his palate. And then he can tell me what he thinks, even just a snack food or stuff in general.
Yes, as you said, it's there's hints of apple in it. It's a good like easy, comfortable drink to drink.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not gonna struggle with it. It's not too strong, or it's not
Very inoffensive.
Yeah, it's a really good one to start off. With the apple in mind, that the flavours that it's getting, that, and it's easy to drink,
Yep, absolutely.
and we've all have woken up with hangover time, and especially after whiskey and all that. So, and with some hangovers, sometimes you need
something.
you need a cure just
Yeah.
to help you on.
A little bit of a kick to the day.
Yes. Once you're not working, once you're off. So I've made a little dish called, I call it the. Yes, is this dish? It's potato bread. It's veg roll, but it's a venison veg roll.
Okay.
So veg roll is usually, this is all the things that when you're hungover, you go into the fridge and open up, and all you can see is bits and bobs of everything.
Yeah.
And you just slap it into a sandwich and put some ketchup over it and just start eating it.
Have you been spying in my window, have you? Because this is exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do.
So it's just taken on that. I was hungover one day and I just slapped everything. And I was like, why can I not refine it and all that?
Yeah.
And veg roll is a thing that's only really up here in Ballymena, very popular for breakfast thing. And really all it is just fat and a little bit of meat and all that. And
Yeah.
but I've took it on its head to use venison, which is in season now, and used a minced down some lovely venison and added some lovely pork fat.
Lovely.
With leeks and carrots and garlic and thyme and rosemary, and flavoured it with a bit of whiskey and a bit of breadcrumb, and made into like a sausage. So it's like a veg roll, and then put it in between
Potato bread.
potato bread or potato fudge,
Love it.
and then so it's a hangover. And then we have egg yolk jam. So that's the runny egg. Did you put it in the middle? Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have an apple ketchup in this pipette. So that's like the tomato ketchup, but it's apple ketchup. It goes really well with venison and with the Tullamore Dew. And then we've got a little dram of Tullamore Dew. So what you do is you squeeze the apple ketchup into the
Sandwich.
sandwich. So squeeze it all in. So you fill it up. So you're like filling it all up. And there, it's all in. And then to get rid of the kick, so you squeeze in the whiskey, the Tullamore Dew. Whiskey inside, and then you pick it up and eat it, and it's really, really nice flavours, and that'll give you that's
Can I grab a plate?
Yes.
And a fork and a Justin?
Pick it up by your hand. There's no meat.
Justin, I'm sorry, you're not going to get any of this, I'm afraid.
But there's a fork there. If you want, just pick it up by your hand and just eat away.
Oh, that's just very lovely, Justin. Just before you even touch it.
So you get all the flavours. And you'll get it's really, really.
That's
so it's
wonderful.
autumnal. It's with the flavours of now.
Absolutely. the sweet aspect of the whiskey is really lifting the venison, because venison can be really quite
It can go
gamey.
very dry, yes.
It can go quite gamey and thing, and that's really lifting it. And that sweetness comes through with the meat. It sort of cuts through the fat as well. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
And then the egg yolk jam is just it's like a fried egg on top.
It's just like a fry
Runny egg.
and a beautiful sandwich, Justin.
And then the plate that was served on is that's a turf and slate plate. Turf and slate coming from Lough Neagh. So lovely artist made them especially for me, and all with the Ogham language. So that's of oak. So that means
right,
oak.
yeah,
The Ogham
yeah.
language on the top. That means so all the language of the Celtic
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Well, it's beautiful.
So
But
that's
can we,
hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
That plate.
can you buy these? Is there anywhere you can buy?
Yes, you can go to Celtia Crafts in George's Market. Fella Colum is really good. He's a real artist. So he makes a lot of plates for me using turf and slate and all that, because that's how.
Leave me a bit.
Socially distance, Justin. Have to.
Leave me a bit.
I'll leave you something, but you're not getting any of this.
So like turf was used to smoke whiskies and all that.
It
so
was.
it's still using, and it's from here as well. So I think it's a really nice. It'll get you going out. It'll get you out of your hangover.
Oh.
You won't have the horrors
That is awesome.
the next morning.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You can't beat a fry. Obviously.
No, that's
and,
it.
And this is something a little bit more refined than the fry. It's absolutely stunning. But I've tasted your food before, and that's why. That's why you're here, my friend. To be honest, because it's fabulous stuff. Now, our next whiskey is again a traditional Irish whiskey, but slight variation on a theme. This is Dingle. This is pot still, matured in bourbon and port casks. So this is the wonderful Dingle distillery. If anyone, I'm a very big fan of Dingle. As anyone who watches this knows, what they do is fabulous. So pot still whiskey, as we've said many times before, unique to Ireland, has to be made here. Irish pot still whiskey. So have a taste, Rob.
Okay.
Tell me what you think.
Yeah, you can smell the sweetness of it straight away.
Straight away.
Yes, it's a really nice.
It's lovely. It's got a lovely balance to it.
Yeah, it's very. All the criteria are matching up. What you said, that it's it's almost the perfect kind of drink. Just that'd be beautiful before a dessert or
Yeah.
during a dessert, because it has the sweetness, and it's not it's not cutting you or anything.
No.
You know, that kind of way. It's really well rounded.
Yeah. The pot still. Just that there's a little spice comes in
Yeah,
at
a
the
little-
end
yeah.
and the finish. As I say, I'm a big fan of what they do down in Dingle. This is a new distillery. This is their own. It's not bought in, etc., etc. And they have done some nice sort of various cask finishes. This is the batch number 3. Number 3. So it's always quite. It's got that lovely sweetness, but as I say, that little peppery kick that comes in at the end gives it a little complexity.
Yeah, it adds a spice to it, a natural spice.